Once again, I want to just thank everybody for being here and to show how important South Florida really is. And the American unity that we have here tonight is amazing to me. We have Kalia Ali with us tonight. Thank you. Bob White, who is the chairman of the Republican Liberty Caucus, is with us tonight. And I just, it's so precious to live in this country where we wake up with opportunities. And just so, we're from Broward County, and we're big believers in helping small businesses keep their doors open, keeping their employees paid. And I challenge those hate groups that keep coming after us to go into a business and capitalize that business, monetize it. And let us know how much you spend in that business. Let us see the percent of the tips that you give to the wait staff. Instead of coming after us for trying to keep the doors open and the employees paid, show us your wallets. Help the people that are in need right now during this time. And I don't want to digress on that one because it's one of my pet peeves. But since I was 17 years old, I have been helping small businesses keep their doors open and their employees paid. And I've been blessed with Celeste Allich and Roger Gingrich, who... And I know nobody's here to hear me or see me, but fortunately I've been blessed with two American patriots, Gabriela and Dragos. We have two people who prove that the American dream is still alive. Absolutely. And the story, and there is no better friend to conservative and Republican, and I will say this to any elected official that truly loves this country, than Gabriela and Dragos Sprinceana. All right.
Thank you, Bob. That was some introduction. I want to thank everybody for coming and join us in my humble house. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Francesca. Everybody knows me. So without further say, I would love to introduce, I would say, my favorite House of Representatives in the state of Florida, and our eyes and ears in Tallahassee, Anthony Sabatini, with whom I had a pleasure to meet a while back because of Bob Sutton. So thank you for that. I think. Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, brother.
And I want to have him give us his insight on present and the future that we all care about. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you, Dragos. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you guys being here today, and thanks for hanging out with us. And thank you so much, Dragos, for inviting us into your beautiful home and being here with us. Dragos has probably done more for liberty in the last 6 months than what I've known most people to do in their lifetime. And that's what we need. We need patriots who are going to exhaust themselves to advance the cause of liberty more than ever before. The last 6, 7, 8 months here in this country, with everything that's going on, we've seen more totalitarianism, more of an assault on liberty, more of an interruption of the free economy, and more hostility to every American value and principle than I've ever seen in the entirety of my life, in all of my historic studies, probably combined. It's a frightening time to be alive, and what we need is true fighters. And the reason I ran for the Florida House is because I knew there was an opportunity to advance the cause of conservatism and move the needle on the issues that we care about most in Tallahassee. And that's what I've done for the last 2 years, and that's been my aim for the last 2 years, and that's going to be my aim going forward for the next few years in the Florida House. This November 3rd, I'll be on the ballot again for my second term. Thankfully, we have term limits in the state of Florida, so I won't be there forever. But in the short time I will be there, I'll be doing every single thing I can to make sure that nothing like what's happened by government action in the last 6 months ever happens again. No more lockdowns, No more arresting Christian pastors and throwing them in churches. Amen. No more locking people inside their homes, fining and arresting people because they're not wearing the certain outfit or wearing something attached to their face or not. Government needs to get out of the picture. It needs to educate citizens, let them make their own decision. Let them, just give them the facts and they will make the right decision. We have a virtuous citizenry. We don't need government to hold our hands or hold our necks. And that's what they've done, and we got to make sure that never happens again. The other big issue in Tallahassee going forward is going to be tort reform. I know business owners all around the state who are afraid to open, afraid to go to a full reopening, and afraid to really put themselves out there because they think that either their employees or the public, one of them is going to sue them, and they're going to be bogged down in courts on this COVID nonsense, and there's going to be COVID lawsuits. So we need 100% tort reform to make sure there is absolutely no litigation related to somebody who may or may not have gotten COVID going to a public place. That's the only way we could really fully reopen the state. To this day, big corporations and small businesses alike are afraid to truly open their businesses because of this continuous threat. So those are going to be the two biggest issues going forward. Keeping the state open, reducing government, and protecting businesses so that way the free economy can operate at its highest and strongest level. So once again, I really appreciate you having me here today. Dragos is a true patriot. I wish there was 1,000 more like him. If there were, then we wouldn't have any of the trouble we're having in politics today. And I want to thank Bob White for being here with the Republican Liberty Caucus. It's one of the most important positions you could have in politics today, holding our own side accountable. Not just attacking the Democrats for being the insane, psychotic socialists that they are. We all know they are. And we have millions telling everyone that. But we also got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to have integrity for our own party, for our own values. And when people on our side of the aisle abandon those to be politically expedient, it's important that patriots step up to call us out, hold us accountable. And that's one of the most important things we could do today, and that's what Republican Liberty Caucus and Dragos and Bob Sutton, all these guys have done this entire year, in a year that it matters more now than ever. And I want to thank my beautiful wife, Francesca, for being here. She's our Republican State Committee woman, fighting for the exact same principles and ideal at the state level, at the Republican Party of Florida level, and making sure that Florida's voice is heard, Lake County's voice is heard, but Florida's voice is heard, and the nationwide conservative movement overall. So I love you. Thank you so much, baby. And thank you guys for being here. And let's have some drinks and enjoy beautiful South Florida weather.
I'm gonna take a liberty here. I wasn't invited to speak, but I'm gonna speak anyway. You know, my wife will tell you I've never met a microphone I didn't like. But you know, every once in a while, somebody appears on the scene and their ideas and their philosophy and everything are described as a breath of fresh air. Anthony Sabatini came onto the scene like a hurricane. Seriously, I mean, constitutional carry, open carry, campus carry, school board term limits. I mean, the list just goes on and on. The efforts that he's made, not just as a legislator, but as an attorney and a private citizen, the lawsuits that he's brought against governments all around the state of Florida that have tried to shut down and close down and force masks and all of those kinds of things. This guy's the real deal. And I just wanted to come up here and recognize you for that and say that anybody and everybody that loves liberty ought to be following this guy, for the rest of his career, because I know that he'll be true to his principles, and they're the same principles that we all possess. So that's it.
Thanks, Bob.
Just wanted to say it.
Thanks,
all right,
Bob.
man. There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.